People actually think Yuta Okkotsu is a fraud, and honestly, that might be the most ironic take in the entire Jujutsu Kaisen fandom, because Yuta isn't weak. He isn't carried, he isn't overrated. He's just misunderstood, and today, I am going to explain exactly why Yuta Okkotsu is not a fraud, and why calling him one completely misses the point of his character and his power. When most people think about strength in Jujutsu Kaisen, they think loud, they think overwhelming presence. They think characters like Sukuna, Gojo, or even Toji, people whose aura fills the screen the moment they appear. Yuta doesn't do that. He's quiet, he's polite, he hesitates. And to some fans, that immediately reads as weakness. But in JJK, quiet doesn't mean weak. Sometimes it means control. Yuta's story starts with tragedy. As a child, he watched the person he loved most, Rika Orimoto, die right in front of him. That trauma didn't just scar him emotionally, it shaped his cursed energy. Without even realizing it, Yuta cursed Rika, not because he was evil, but because his grief was so intense, his cursed energy reacted on instinct. That's the first thing people miss. Rika was never the source of Yuta's power, she was the result of it. The so-called Queen of Curses was created because Yuta's cursed energy was so vast, so unstable, and so unrestrained that it needed a form. Everyone feared Rika, but what they were actually sensing was Yuta himself leaking power uncontrollably. At that point in the story, Yuta had zero training, no understanding of Jujutsu, no control. And yet, his cursed energy was already on a level that made special grade sorcerers uneasy. That alone should tell you something. Then Jujutsu Kaisen 0 happens, and this is where the fraud narrative really starts. Yuta releases Rika's soul at the end of the story, and people assume that means he lost his power. That without Rika, he's nothing. That is completely wrong. What Yuta released was Rika's soul, the human consciousness bound by his curse. The cursed energy never left because it was never hers to begin with. It was always Yuta's. After that moment, Yuta doesn't become weaker, he becomes refined. Instead of a berserk curse acting on emotion, he restructures that power into a controlled cursed technique. The current Rika is not a person, she's a manifestation of Yuta's energy, acting as an external storage, weapon, and support system. And here's where people really underestimate him. Current Yuta has limits. Time limits, conditions, restrictions, and that's not a nerf. It's proof of mastery. He's no longer leaking energy everywhere. He's choosing when and how to use it. On top of that, Yuta has one of the most broken abilities in the series, Cursed Technique Copy. With the right conditions, he can replicate techniques that take other sorcerers a lifetime to master. He has Reverse Cursed Technique advanced enough to heal himself and others. He has Domain Expansion. He has absurd cursed energy reserves. And unlike many characters in JJK, he fights calmly. That calmness is what confuses people. Yuta doesn't rush. He doesn't flex. He doesn't need to dominate the scene to prove a point. He observes, adapts, and ends fights efficiently. That's why characters in the story treat him very differently than fans do. Gojo trusts him, Kenjaku avoids him, Sukuna doesn't dismiss him. When the people who understand power the most take you seriously, that's not fraud behavior. Another thing people overlook is Yuta's mentality. He doesn't crave strength. He doesn't seek domination. He fights to protect people. And in JJK, cursed energy is fueled by negative emotions. The fact that Yuta maintains such power without being consumed by hatred or ego is terrifying. It means he's strong by choice, not by obsession. Compare that to someone like Yuji, who grows through suffering, or Maki, who becomes strong by rejecting cursed energy entirely, or Toji, who breaks the system by existing outside it. Yuta is different. He plays within the system and still bends it. That's why the fraud accusations don't stick. They're based on surface-level hype, not actual capability. Yuta isn't flashy because he doesn't need to be. He isn't loud because he's confident. He isn't cruel because he's in control, and that's what makes him dangerous. In a world where power usually comes from obsession, rage, or trauma, Yuta represents something scarier: balance. A sorcerer with overwhelming potential who actually understands himself. So no, Yuta Okkotsu is not a fraud. He's the kind of character you underestimate, right up until the moment you realize it's already too late. If you enjoyed this breakdown and it changed how you see Yuta, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more deep dives into Jujutsu Kaisen. And let me know in the comments, do you think Yuta is still being underrated, or do you think his best moment is yet to come? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.